G'day legends and welcome to another Ripper episode of the Aunty, Donna podcast. This week we talk all things movies with special guest Alexei Toliopoulos, one of the creators of the new web series Finding Yeezus. Finding Yeezus is an awesome 6-part web series created by Alexei and Cameron James. Finding Yeezus episodes are out now on youtube.com/GrouseHouse.
You're listening to the Aunty Donna podcast, the greatest fucking podcast in the world. Broden, Mike and Zach, and sometimes some guests. We hope you enjoy the motherfucking podcast.
You ripped the label off your bottle to keep on the table.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That wasn't like it was more of an aesthetic choice.
You don't want Frantelli or whatever this to
Yeah,
get
this
on
wasn't
free
like
plug?
it's like, I don't want the implication to be that we're so sharply focused. It's not, well, if we're not getting a Fratelli sponsorship. It was more just I just thought it looked cleaner.
Welcome to the podcast. Aunty Donna podcast brought to you by Fratelli. We're here again with Alexei. Hello.
Hello.
And we are going to talk, which we've been doing a bit recently.
We have been talking.
Well, you haven't. You haven't been here.
Oh, okay.
We're talking movies.
But I do that.
I think we talked movies a bit, and I feel like that summoned you here.
Of course. That's why I'm here, because I'm hearing you guys talk about movies and I'm like, well, I should be a participant in this.
Yeah.
Having a wide breadth of knowledge about the cinematic arts and so many other great actors and filmmakers that have really added to the history of cinema.
Made movies.
And made movies.
you
and
do-
made films.
Sold tickets to them.
And sold tickets to
Tickets
those
to
films.
them.
DVDs.
And of course, the DVDs and Blu-rays, HD, DVDs, 4K, UHDs, VHS tapes, Betamax players and cassettes.
And streaming.
And of course, streaming, which is a modern way to watch movies in the comfort of one's own home.
Laser disc.
Lazy discs. Wow, we love those lazy discs. It's what I love to
Just
put on.
sitting around all day.
Sit back, put a lazy disc on and, relax and watch the hours drift by as I sit down and watch.
Yeah, they used to release 8mm versions of films. I feel like you would know that. What a
Of
funny
course,
thought.
that is one of the most hilarious thoughts that one could bring up.
Now, we are...
Funny like that.
I'm here laughing my ass off.
It's not Jim Carrey funny, but...
Jim Carrey funny.
Oh, no, but it's certainly like, Peter Sellers funny or something.
It's like,
Okay.
Peter Sellers is funny.
He is, yeah.
Now,
It's official, we can say it.
Peter Sellers is funny.
He
Funny
is,
guy.
yeah, he's very funny.
Now,
we were going to say, you're a reviewer, you do reviews.
I've
right?
done reviews, yes.
You've done reviews
I'm a
from time to time.
critic.
But more than that, you love movies, you love the history of movies.
Oh, yeah, more than that.
And we thought it would be good to get you in, not talk about the contemporary films that are coming out right now, not talking about Thor, fun.
Yeah, no.
Talking about, not talking about Doctor Strange and the crazy times in the
or
universe.
Top Pistols or anything. I'm
No.
talking about the old stuff.
We're talking about favourite movies. What are the classics?
Phantom of the Open, we're not talking about that.
No. Good Lord. And I would say Mark Rylance, I don't like him.
Wow.
And he is a star of that movie that you just said.
You don't like Mark Rylance?
No.
Do you want to hear something awesome?
Of course.
Like, so fun.
Wow, okay.
And if this was commercial radio, we'd be tapping into this for the next 20 minutes.
Yes.
Broden's favourite actor is Mark Rylance.
Wow. I never forgave him for beating Sylvester Stallone for the Oscars.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That's what really did it for me.
I saw him on Broadway when I was in a very formative year, and he's very good in that.
Really?
It's on West End now. He's in a play called Jerusalem by Jez Butterworth.
Get on a plane,
You
go
play-
see it, then make a decision on
No,
it.
thank you. What if I start throwing Rotten Tomatoes at him, as is my want as a film critic? If I'm displeased with something, I throw those Rotten Tomatoes at them. I'll be hurling them at his head. Rylance, you think you can go toe-to-toe with Sly? I don't think so, brother.
Alexei, we asked you to bring in your top 10 movies today.
Oh, yes, of course.
But also, Zach, you brought in your top 10.
Well, yeah, but I'm also leaving it open. I brought in a couple, and I'm just going to riff because I just love talking about movies. And sometimes when you bring in a hard list,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, great, now my one. Oh, great, now my... And I kind of just want to riff and like, what sparks, what sparks what. But yeah, I do have a couple of faves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone want to start with their favourite movie?
Oh, I got to say, Little Godfather, Big Godfather, the sequel to Godfather was one of my favourites.
I think that's such a beautiful choice because a lot of people go with just Big Godfather, the original film from 1972 that birthed what the idea of films could even achieve.
Yeah.
And when that sequel comes out, when Little Godfather, Big Godfather comes out, it redefines what we even think a sequel could be.
Yeah.
Because a sequel, you hear the word sequel and you go, okay, it's set after movie one. Mm-hmm. And then you see Little Godfather, Big Godfather, and you go, okay, it's set after movie one, but hang on a tick. A lot of it is set before movie one too. And they merge those two stories of Little Godfather and Big Godfather together.
Yeah.
And I watch that and I go, wow.
One of my favourite posters
That's
as well.
cool.
One of my favourite posters is the two of them in cream suits sort of leaning up against each other, like
Yes.
arms crossed. Beautiful film.
And you see them in that poster and you go, I can't wait to see them on screen together.
Yeah.
And we had to wait another...
You have to wait 25 years
For
for the Hot movie to come out. Whether these two hot guys in opposing forces and you're like, these two hotties. Pacinoid, De Niroid, and you're like...
Hot boys.
These are the hot boys. And we waited this long to their
the bank
fucking-
heist movie.
Yeah, the
Hot
bank
Boys.
heist movie.
Hot
It's all about the hot boys bank heisting.
Hot
You
boys.
got Valerie Kilmer going in there. I'm going to kill you for money.
Yeah.
Crazy Mum with a Gun is one of my favourite 90s films.
Yeah.
It's in my top 10.
Which one's that?
Sly after
Oh,
Rocky.
yeah,
Crazy Mum with a
it's
Gun.
the enemies with one of the Golden Girls.
Yeah, it's Golden. It's actually called Golden Girls in some Golden Girls.
A lot of people
movies.
call it
Some
Golden
market.
Girls the movie. Not in every market.
Yeah, no, it was only Australia. It was
Yeah.
called Golden Girls the movie. Well, have you got a favourite film from the 90s that you think of and you go, that's the 90s?
I do love the 90s. That's what I look back on with quite nostalgic times to the 90s because a lot of wonderful pictures come out around that time. One of my favourites I've been thinking about recently is The Most Beautiful Big Ship. And I
Big Ship.
love that movie, The Most Beautiful Big Ship.
The most beautiful big ship.
And you see that movie and you think back to what it would have been like back in 1912 or whatever, some
Yeah.
fucking year, long time ago, where you're
Yeah.
like, you see the most beautiful big ship and you go, hang on a tick, there's no way this thing will ever sink like many boats and ships did back in that time.
Yeah.
Finally, they made a big freaking big ship.
The most beautiful
The
big
most
ship.
beautiful big ship that you could possibly imagine. Then you're like, finally, they figured out how to make a ship that
Yeah.
will not sink.
And I love on the poster.
This is, of course, the Titanic. The film.
It's
the beautiful
based
big...
on the Titanic. It's based on the Titanic.
the
yeah.
poster,
Yeah.
the beautiful, like they put a little smiley face on the side of the boat to give it a face.
Because you see that smiley face and go, wow, this is going to be a really nice movie about a nice trip
Yeah.
going across.
Some of it
like,
is.
Yeah, you go, it's going to be like Boat Vacation starring Cuba Gooding Jr.
When I think 90s, I think of Julia Roberts breaking through in the movie with Richard Gere called Fucked Grub. About Richard Gere sleeping with someone 20 years younger, a sex
Yeah.
worker. Fucked Grub is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love that movie.
And I love it when she's just like, yeah, you fucked up. This is a big fuck up on your part. I come in here and you think that I can't afford all this crap you've got here.
Yeah.
Guess what? You fucked up big time, bitch.
Julia Roberts says that.
Yeah, bitch, you fucked up.
It's funny,
I may be a simple sex worker, yet I could have afforded these things in here.
She says it exactly like that.
Exactly, word for word, perfect.
And the girl's like, I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake.
Too late. You try to apologize to me and fuck yourself over.
I love that you guys are talking about the 90s.
Yeah, we love the 90s. It's nostalgia for me.
Yeah, I often think about the 90s, but I also think what happened in the 2000s, you know,
Oh, gosh,
particularly
I
with
didn't
like
even
action
think.
cinema, and when Christopher Nolan made New Batman, after the disaster
Yes.
that was Batman and Robin and Batgirl.
Yes, of course. And Batman for the rest of your life. Those two movies. They turned the tide against Batman fans.
What is it? How did that? I'm not a big Batman man.
Right.
Which is the name of the first movie.
Yeah,
The
of
Batman
course.
man.
Yeah, because it's about the man that is Batman.
The Batman man.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the Batman man versus the cat-like woman and the small flightless birds.
So what are all the movies?
Featuring Christopher Walken.
Yes, as Mr. Mayor.
So the first
a long
movie,
title.
The Batman Man,
Yes.
women, the Batman Man, and the cat-like woman with the flightless bird featuring Christopher Walken.
Yes.
As
The
Mr. Man.
As Mr. Man.
Next one, Batman for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Batman and Robin and Batgirl.
Yes.
Batman and Robin and Batgirl.
Then
Don't
Nolan
forget
stepped in and said,
Alfred.
"Don't forget."
With a sad face.
Well, he
sick in that
dies. He
one,
dies.
Yeah, well, he nearly does.
In brackets.
Oh, God, it's been a minute since I've seen it.
Seen it 4 times in the last week.
And then Nolan jumps in with
Yes.
and says,
And he
"I
makes-
have something to say." New
the
Batman.
new
Makes
Batman.
new Batman.
Then of course Heath Ledger.
Oh, our Heath.
That's
Our
what it's
Heath.
called?
Yes.
Our Heath. That was what it was called in Australia.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Americans are probably thinking, I think you're talking about Jokester versus B-Man.
No. No.
But in Australia,
It's a different
they called
market.
it Our Heath.
In Australia, people don't know that for our overseas audience. People often, we rename movies. Famously, the film Aeroplane,
Yes.
the great comedy from the 70s in Australia, is called Silly Movie. And
Also, of course, the film Neighbours, starring Seth Rogen. That's got the same name as a soap opera here. So,
We called it Home and Away from while you were at uni.
home and away while you're at uni.
Yeah, just so it wouldn't get too confusing.
sorry, just to get back to the Batman. So then,
Yeah.
what was the?
So there was Jokester versus
Yeah.
B-Man.
But we call it
But
our
we
Heath.
call it our
because
Heath.
and we got a special cut here where it's just mainly Heath.
They cut that
And
footage.
there's
Of,
interviews with different actors.
Yeah.
We've known him, Michelle Williams, and just talking
Yeah, 'cause
heads.
they used to be.
it opens with that
Yeah.
footage of Heath Ledger kissing Sharon Strzelecki at the Logies
Yeah.
that time, or the
Yes.
AFIs. It's very tasteful. And then, of course, Nolan's end to his trilogy.
Oh, the
Yeah.
end to his trilogy, which I have to say is really powerful. That's who's the main bad guy in that?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
And he
fat
plays-
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. And he plays a great character called Banos.
Oh,
And I
Banos.
love Banos because he's like, I am your Batman. So you
Great
have
wordplay.
to- Yes.
I am your bad man, Batman.
And that movie's called A Tale of Two Cities.
Yes. And we love Christopher. Oh my God.
beautiful.
Then,
I love him. I love
yeah.
his movies.
favorite Nolan movie?
Oh, Mementoids. I really love Mementoids because it is so interesting. You watch it and you're like, hang on a sec, what is going on? I'm used to
Mementoids.
watching movies where things happen in
And how
order.
good was Joel Pesci in that film?
Joel, I love him.
Joel
I love
Pesci.
him. He's got the little mustachio in that and he's just fantastic.
Oh, good.
And it's great. Our Guy, that's what it was released in Australia. Right?
Our guy.
Our guy.
They released it on DVD because it failed him miserably
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
box office.
Yeah.
And they said, hang on a tick, when the DVD comes out, we got to make it for Aussies this time.
Our
Yeah.
guy.
It's
And-
called Our Guy.
And it features an introduction from Kylie Minogue, just
Yes.
sort of like on a like a
Australian
sort of wide
story.
set. Yeah, Australian story style. She walks in and she goes, "Ever since he appeared on screens on Neighbours, our guy has taken the world by storm."
And we are proud to see him out there. Yeah.
Enjoy the
And
movie.
now enjoy our guy.
And then, of course, the camera floats up onto a screen, the movie plays. And it plays in reverse order sometimes. And
Yeah,
I'm
what is
sitting
that about?
here- It's weird.
Is
It's
that just bad distribution, communication?
You
or is
thought
that...
maybe the disc got scrambled
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
And it's going out. They play it on the DVD at the
The
cinemas
colour
and stuff.
goes out sometimes.
Sometimes
really,
it's black and white. It's actually known as an experimental film.
Oh.
And I would say emphasis on the mental when it comes to experimental because
Yeah.
it's a movie about a guy that has a disorder with his head and what's inside it, his brain.
So when you say experimental, you're not talking beakers, Bunsen burners,
No,
pH levels.
No, not any kind of phosphates or anything. I'm talking about the way the film is put together is a bit of an experiment in itself.
Right.
It is something that he's probably thinking in his head, Christopher Nolan, even though he's a very smart and interesting man,
Yeah.
he's probably going, I don't know if this is going to work. So what I'm doing, I would consider an experiment.
Is it similar how he plays around? Would you say
It's similar.
Beach War is similar
Yes.
experimental?
Of course, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
But Beach War is a bit of a sequel to it, I would
Right,
say. Not
yeah.
exactly. Like, don't hold me to it. I don't think the same characters are in it.
Guy Pearce is in it.
Is he now?
His character, there's a scene where he runs through.
Wow.
Still pacing.
in our
And he's like, where am I now?
Yeah.
I don't even remember getting here.
Beach War, in brackets, Our Guy, part 2.
They just inserted scenes where he's like,
Our
he's
guy
in
at
Australia.
war.
He's like, sounds like it's going really bad in Europe. We got to help him. And then the implication is Tom, they dubbed Tom Hardy as an Australian. God, our allies, the Brits, need a hand.
Yeah.
Really
it made it sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah,
And that's a really popular product in Australia.
Yeah.
So just so you have
our
the
guy
context.
too.
I'm pretty sure we've named some of these movies before in other episodes,
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
it's good to go back over them. Like, just to finish off the Batman ones, I don't want to leave.
Oh,
it
the
over.
latest one,
course.
the Batman man.
Yeah.
the
They add that to the title.
They added the, and at first I was confused. Is this
Yeah.
going to be the same? And I watched it, I go, no, it's different. It's actually a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer than I'm used to for watching a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thinking Batman. I think Ben Affleck. I think Affleck, J-Lo. I think of J-Lo's movie that came out last year, which I loved.
Yes.
Stripper.
Yeah, Stripper. I loved Stripper. Because it's a Stripper is an interesting movie.
Which one's Trooper?
Are you talking about Stripper, where she played the complex
Stripper?
character? I'm thinking of Stripper.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking one where she marries Owen Wilson in the crowd.
Oh, Mary
yeah, Stripper's like
Owen.
3
Mary
years ago.
Owen.
Where she marries Owen.
Mary Owen.
Mary Owen.
Well, we love Mary Owen.
Is that fun? I haven't seen Mary Owen.
Oh,
yet.
it's a blast and a half.
It's
Yeah.
crazy story. You wouldn't read about
Yeah,
it.
it would be one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Great romance, like in the same vein we talked about Julianne.
Julianne Moore.
No, but
Julianne Roberts.
Yes, Julianne Roberts and Hugh Grant.
Yes, of course.
In the story that takes place in beautiful Notting Hill.
Yeah, it takes place in Notting Hill, but it's called Not Their Hill, which is interesting because she is from the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
But then she's not there.
Now she's in a different
She's in
hill.
a different hills.
And
in
so
a
that
different
scene where
land.
she goes, "This is not my hill."
Yeah. I'm used to living in the Hollywood Hills. after
Apparently,
all.
the working title was Beneath Hill 60.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
And they used that for another movie.
Yeah.
With our Brendan Cowell in it.
Of course, known in Australia as Al Brendan Cow.
Which they didn't need to do as an Australian story about Australian issues. It wasn't
Yeah.
like an Australian being in an American film.
Yeah.
Funny that you mentioned J-Lo and Ben Affleck because, God, their careers went a little sideways after the release of Jiggly.
Jiggly. Of course, Jiggly. Jiggly from Martin Brest.
Just about just some jiggly people.
And yeah, there's such jiggly people in that movie. They're rocking around, they're bumbling around.
Is it set in a world of jiggly people, or is it
Most people are jiggly in that
Yeah,
movie.
but the idea is J-Lo isn't jiggly. But then Ben Affleck's like, I reckon I can make her jiggly. It's a little problematic now when I think back to it.
I reckon I can make her jiggly.
Yeah, it's like, no, she's not jiggly, man.
I can
but-
change her.
It's-
And he's done that before.
yeah.
Of course, in like Runaway Amy. When he was doing Runaway Amy with the Clerks guys.
Yeah. Runaway Amy.
Oh, because are you talking about the Clerks guys?
Yeah, the Clerks guys.
Yeah, Runaway Amy in
Yeah.
brackets.
No.
Don't watch this after 1997. It doesn't age well.
Yeah. But they're doing Clerks Guys 3.
Oh, really?
Did you hear that?
Clerks
Because I
Guys
really
3.
felt like the Clerks guys, but now at McDonald's, was a good conclusion to that series.
I was like, you know what? I'm watching this and I'm not wanting for more. But
Yeah.
then here
Yeah.
I am in my older twilight years
Yeah.
of my life, and I start to think back on the things I liked when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I hope that every movie can be catered to that thought. That's what I want. I want every movie to be harkening back to my younger years and deliver me things
Yeah.
that I loved when I was young.
Like-
And that's all I want. I want to live in that world so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Don't think too much about life. And
Not-
just
not
like
challenged.
that.
so you
Not-
must love G.G. Abrams then.
Oh, fucking hell, bruz. I love that guy. The way that he makes those really interesting movies set out in space.
Yeah.
Those Space Chronicles. When he came back into the Space Chronicles.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
With
that
Ray
was-
Romano.
Oh, with
The main character, Ray Romano.
Yeah, well, and because I think he really proved himself with when he made Space Navy,
Yeah.
and everyone thought Space Navy that's old, man.
That's old, man.
We haven't seen a Space Navy movie since we wrapped up Space Navy, the next group of people. And he's like, no, I think I can make a new Space Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he really pulled it off.
And then to go from Space Navy to Space Chronicles, these two warring factions in fandoms, that people go, hey, my one's better. Just kidding, my one's better.
Yeah.
To have one guy oversee both, marvelous stuff.
Yeah.
I would say marvelous stuff.
If I can jump back, we're talking about rom-coms of the 90s
Yeah,
and 2000s.
of course,
So
yes.
it's my favourite genre,
Yeah.
I would say. My favourite of the 2000s, Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Watch on as two people mentally destroy each other irreparably.
Yeah.
I loved Watch On as two people destroying each other irreparably so much. I don't know why they put the in the
Yeah,
title.
well,
Because
gives
a lot
you
of
a
people
moment to
listening would
think.
probably think that
I think it was a last-minute thing.
Yeah. It gives you a moment to think when you're reading it. Because that's why I like that title so much. And it's interesting because it's set over a period of maybe, it's been a while. 10 days?
But yeah.
I thought it was 2 weeks.
Well, it's about how to lose a guy in 10 days. But
That's the plot.
that's the plot. That's the
But
plot.
the title of the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
The title for the film is different because it's set over that time. What would you call a movie about the time it's set? You got to call a movie about what's freaking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is
I like those big ensemble romantic comedies they're doing now, like Actually It's About Love, and then the American rip-offs. I think we've done this. The American rip-offs, you know, the one set on Valentine's Day, which is a group of people all falling in love on the day of love. Long title, but
Long
you know,
title.
a group of people falling in love on the day of
On the
love?
day of love.
It really captures it. What are some of your favourite films? Like, what are some undiscovered gems? But you know,
Yeah, someone listening who loves movies.
And to go a little step further.
But even like, what are some of the big canonical films?
Oh,
you know? Like,
really
what are
big
some
ones.
big movies through the 70s, 60s? You know,
Well, there's so many interesting ones, but one that I love to call attention to is probably Ghost Berserkers.
oh, okay,
And
yeah.
it's about these three seemingly interesting scientists that go absolutely berserk when ghosts are around. And they have to try and find the ghosts all throughout the city. New York City, which is usually known as a city that doesn't sleep. And usually that's just because there's so much going on, hustle and bustle. But I actually would say the reason it doesn't sleep is because there's a lot of ghosts keeping people up at night. And that's a really interesting movie because it blends scary. It gets scary stuff. Horror, ghosts, fictitious creatures from other realms.
Well, I like to laugh. I don't know if I'd like that movie.
That is the thing that excites me most about this film, Broden. Is it takes those elements that you would seemingly find quite terrifying and might keep someone like you up at night.
Yeah.
But then it takes something that you love, which is humor, and it softens those ideas. And it allows it to have this kind of blend of two seemingly disparate forms and modes of communication with an audience. I'm talking about genre. This is a genre blender. It blends two genres
Horror
together.
funny.
Horror
Horror
and the
fun.
funny genre.
But horror is scary,
horror is scary, yes.
and funny is like joyful.
Yes. So what it does, it
Is
uses...
this the only time these two genres have been blended?
It was one of the most significant times, but it's not the only time.
wow.
Yes. There's one that I really like.
Yeah.
More modern, 90s, your era.
Yeah.
It's called Scary Movie. And it's a movie where a guy calls up and he's like, tell me about your favorite scary movies.
Yeah.
And then
I love
if
scary
you get
movie.
the things wrong about them, I'm going to fucking cut your head off.
Have you seen the parody of Scary Movie called Scream? It's so funny. They they do scenes from Scary Movie, but it's silly. It's
And
called
that's
Scream.
really interesting because I'm like, already one's quite funny and blend humor with scary. And then they do one, it's like, let's make more funny. Let's go more funny on top.
You know that scene where they point out how it's funny that people run up the stairs?
Yeah.
Let's do a scene where we point out that, yes, it is indeed funny.
And it'll be sillier. We'll do it silly style.
That's that movie. Yes, indeed, that is funny.
And I love all the Yes Indeed That Is Funny movies. They did a bunch of
You were
them.
right, yes.
Yes, indeed, you're right. That is funny.
Yeah, I love it when they did Yes Indeed That Is Funny disaster movies. When they did it for disaster movies like A Few Days From Yesterday.
yeah.
God. Do you remember when that came out?
Yeah, I was like, I could imagine this a few days from yesterday.
Oh, God.
2013.
And of course,
That freaked the heck out of me. Those Aztecs, they knew what was up.
It's about 2012.
I know.
Strangely.
And they go, what would happen even after this?
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty bad.
those movies, of course, from the director of Aliens Attack. His original
Yeah.
movie.
Aliens attack on the 4th of July, so watch out.
Or the Yes Indeed That Is Funny parody of that film. Which is Mars Boys.
Yeah, we love Mars Boys.
And that's that's Goth Boy, the director
Yes.
Goth
Goth
Boy.
Boy. Goth
Oh, we
Boy.
love
Such
Goth
interesting
Boy.
stuff.
I love Goth Boy.
Yeah, I love his work. I love that guy,
Big
the
haircut,
weird
bigger-
barbershop
yeah.
haircut guy.
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
haircut, bigger scissors.
Yes.
Seen that movie?
I've
Yeah.
seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
I've seen it multiple times over my life.
Yeah,
I actually
wow.
watched it in year 8. We examined that film in year 8.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I much prefer his animated films.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love Scary Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I love his lesser known, my bride is dead.
And I love the one he did more recently. My dog is dead.
Yeah, I love
I
Oh,
love
My Dog
my
Is
dog
Dead.
is dead.
Yeah, really fun. He's a fun director.
He is weird.
Yeah.
He is weird. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's a little
He's
kooky.
a little off center.
Yeah, he's not the mainstream.
No, God, no.
No.
Pie Boy was a fun little jaunt into musicals for him as well.
Pie Boy. What's in the pies?
Yeah.
It is boys. We kill them and put them in the pies.
Pie Boy.
That, of course, the full title. Pie Boy, what's in the pies? It is boys. We kill them and put them in the pies.
And that's what it's called when it was on Broadway show.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was a Broadway show.
Oh, was that Broadway?
Oh, yes.
What are your favourite Broadway shows?
Oh, probably West Side Story.
Yeah, great. I like Anything Goes or Hamilton or
Yeah.
you know, Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
I
Book
loved
of Mormon, I saw that. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
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 Beautiful,
42nd
beautiful.
Street.
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
company and all that
Thoroughly
stuff.
Modern Millie.
Oh, God. I wish I could have seen Funny Girl. They
Oh,
got
yeah.
the new Funny Girl on right now. There's a lot of talk around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But tragically, I can't go
Well,
there.
because you know that there's a lot of drama and stuff around it because of the cast of Glebe.
Yeah, Glebe is in it. From Glebe High. And it's like, what? Okay, she's in it now?
Yeah, she's in it now. Glebe's in it now.
What? And I thought it was actually going to be the chick from Bookwork. And then they got rid of the chick from Bookwork.
I'm like, excuse me, it's a chick from Bookwork that was in weirdly miscast Bill Clinton.
Yeah. So in this world, TV is also musicals are the same.
Yeah.
TV and film are different names.
But films are like off titles. The TV titles are just like mild criticisms of the show.
Ah, right.
And it's hard with a long running show because you
Yeah.
kind of got to guess.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of course, you know the one about Fox and Mulder. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
called. That was originally called when first released. The funnest bits are the ones where it's not the main plot.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then it's gone on. They've renamed the whole thing to, geez, we probably should stop now.
Yeah.
I loved it when they re-released it as Jesus Quiz. We should stop now.
Season
and
2.
they had Kumail in it and stuff. Oh, God, that was awesome. Wow.
Geez, we should probably stop now is a great show.
Yeah, well, it was.
Couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened without. We shouldn't have pushed David Lynch out of this project. That great story
Twin
Yeah.
Peaks.
about the town of Twin Peaks.
yeah.
And of course, go back to the 60s and you've got that show about weird stuff with that door that opens up and takes you to different worlds.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's
Someone's
interesting.
been to Bunnings.
Yeah. The freaky door frame show. God almighty.
Oh, yeah. There's some great shows back there. Remember the family of kooky people from the cemetery and they click their fingers?
Oh, yeah, the clickers. We love the clicking family.
That's funny because what we don't know is that came out about the same time as the Monster Family, and they were out at the same time.
stuff.
Yeah, the
similar.
working title for the Monster Family was not the Clicking Family as well.
Oh,
They went
really?
to monsters. But also, those people who went missing in space, the family who went missing in space.
The family that went missing in
The
space.
family that
with
went
the
missing
weird
in
doctor
space
guy.
with the weird doctor guy. I love the family that went missing in space
Such
with
a
the
good
weird
show,
doctor
and I
guy.
loved it when they made the movie with Joe Tribbiani in it. I loved that movie.
Of course,
yeah.
from Across the Hall Neighbours.
Yeah, across the whole neighbours, and their friend that lives elsewhere. We never get a picture into her life.
I love that. Across the Hall Neighbours.
What's
And
that?
their friend that lived elsewhere.
I'm lost.
Oh, it's about two guys live in one apartment.
One's
and
an actor, one's a guy whose job I don't quite understand, but
Oh, right.
he's got an interesting job, and none of his friends even understand what it is.
Yeah, they're all friends, right? And then across the hall is like three people live there.
Two ladies,
Two
one
ladies.
cook, one work fashion,
And then there's another friend that lives elsewhere.
and she's interesting because she's weird.
Yeah, she's cute.
And then across from them is even sister of the chef. And the brother of the chef.
Brother
excuse
of
me.
the chef.
The brother of the chef.
What's
and
this
he
show called
works-
again?
Well, season one was called Friends That Live Across the Hall From Me. No, People That Live Across the Hall From Me. Neighbours That Live Across the
Yes.
Hall From Each Other. Sorry, I'm
Yes.
misremembering.
Yeah, but it's complex.
It's an
right?
iconic
It's
show.
complex. It would be great if they just released just one word title. But unfortunately, they didn't do that.
Well, what were you going to call it? It's about a group of friends.
I know, but
That
you
live in
want to keep it
apartment.
saying. You got to say their
neighbours across
names and what they get up to.
And then season 2, when they introduced the weird lady, it was called
Yep.
friends, neighbours that live across the hall from each other.
Yes.
And what was it?
The friend that lives elsewhere, but we don't see too much of her life.
And then they shortened the title. It's like apartments nearby. That was what it became for season 3. And
Yeah.
then season 4, I think the guy that played Ross got it in the contract, and they renamed it again to
Ross.
Apartments Nearby. Yeah, Ross.
Apartments nearby Ross. Because he kind of took over the show and everyone was like, this is the fan favourite character. We've got to make it more about Ross.
Yeah.
So it's called The Apartments Nearby Ross.
There's, HBO came in and changed television.
Oh, of
With
course.
Sexy City.
Because
yeah.
they changed it because I'm sitting here watching TV and then hang on a sec, it's not TV anymore.
No.
It's HBO,
Yeah.
home box office.
Yeah.
And it's like movies, but for TV and made in TV style episodes and format.
And we were just talking about Big Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
But Big Godfather goes to therapy.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh,
I
beautiful
love
film.
that.
Beautiful
Yeah,
film.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
show.
Started with their first show they ever made was about prison called Australia. And
Yeah,
See,
that's so good, especially if you love seeing guys have showers.
Yeah.
And that's one of my hobbies. So I love that TV show.
Sexy Boys, Australia, Godfather.
Godfather goes to therapy.
It's
Very similar. What was that? Billy. There was that another. There was a funny movie
with
about
Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
And Robert
Billy
De
Crystal's.
Niro.
This patient ain't gonna be good.
Because it's you go in there and it's just like, that is interesting how two different styles could take on the same subject matter. One for funny and laugh. One for
yeah.
existential
Yeah. Robert
thought.
De Niro is
Yeah,
the-
Billy
De
Crystal's.
Niro and-
This patient isn't gonna be a good one.
And it's interesting the person from the TV show that we call neighbours that live across from each other. The woman who lives elsewhere is in that playing Billy Crystal's part.
Oh yes, yeah.
So some actors do movies and
They
TV.
do, and I think that's interesting, and you see it more and more every day.
Oh, I think when Kiefer Sutherland did One Day in My Life that I'm not gonna forget.
The TV show.
Yeah, and we were like, wow, Kiefer Sutherland, he's from the movies. I mean,
Yeah.
he's from Dead for a little bit of time, and now he's doing One Day in My Life that I'm never gonna forget.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty crazy stuff.
Well, another big day talking about media.
Yeah.
I'm wrapped.
Yeah.
Now, you're here for a reason.
I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about a show you're making.
I'm making my own webisodes.
Yeah.
I've been making webisodes, and
Not to brag.
Not to brag. I know it's quite it's a lot for someone to come around and go, everyone check out what I'm doing. And I know there's ego involved in something like that, but it also is something I'm quite proud of. And I'd love to share by making webisodes, and not unlike musicals. Webisodes, they just have the normal title. I
Yeah.
will not be fucking around. around the title of the thing I'm here to promote.
No, that would be really bad. It would make you search the wrong thing on
Yeah,
YouTube.
of course, but it is called Finding Yeezus. It is on Grouse House now. It's a documentary comedy hybrid series, not unlike the Ghost Berserkers, where it's two blending genres coming together. But it is a Weber series where Cameron James, fan favorite from this show, we investigate pop culture mysteries.
If you were doing a pitch and it was this meets this, what would it be?
I would say it is Tickled or Catfish meets Funny. Meet the funny guys.
That's good.
So probably kind of the other guys.
Oh,
nice
good.
guys. It would be kind of like those two coming
Bit
together.
of Dumb and Dumber, I reckon.
Oh, that's rude, but I'll take it.
If it was a dessert,
If it was a dessert, I would say it would be a Black Forest truffle cake.
and if it was a main,
Oh, steak sandwich.
Wow. Because you got the sandwich and the steak.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we should. Is there anything else you wanted to say about this amazing project that we're involved in?
Yes, of
You know?
course. It's on Grouse House. You guys are in it. It is a mystery investigation with a comedic twist. The twist is we're funny, and while we solve the mystery. But it is about a video game called Kanye Quest 3030. This is the biggest mystery Cameron and I have ever tackled.
Wow.
It's the only one that people have tried to solve before us, but we are probably better investigators than have ever tackled this. It's about a game that we think was used as a recruitment tool for a new age cult that believes in the singularity and becoming one with machines and finding immortality through the internet. So we try to find out the truth behind this game.
and what happens at the end?
No.
Oh, do you want me to say?
No.
I will say.
No.
At the end, the credits roll. And it would have been hopefully a cathartic experience for everyone watching it just before that happens.
Now I
Maybe
feel
a
like we
subscribe
should.
button or something like
Hit
that.
the subscribe button on Grouse House and watch
that
more
subscribe.
Aussie content
Like
starring
and
your
subscribe.
favourite acts.
I want to wrap this up with a quick fire of you mentioned we talked about Big Godfather Goes to
Yeah, of
Therapy
course.
and this patient, and I thought it's a bit of a thing in Hollywood sometimes where two movies come out at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought we
It's called
could
twin films.
Twin films,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe like quick fire round we could each say our own favorite twin films. I can
Yeah.
go first.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I think one of the biggest phenomenons is when Pixar and DreamWorks came out at the same time. DreamWorks, of course, came out with Pervert Ant.
Yes, like Woody Allen. I love him.
Yeah.
Pervert Ant. And then at the very similar time, Pixar came out with An Ant's Life.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are two just funny little twin films. And I was wondering if you guys had any favourites out of that.
I've got so many favorites, but the one that I really, really love is It's the End of the World. And then I love the one where it's like right after that, there's going to be a huge impact when this comet hits us.
One more of an action, one more of a drama.
One more, yeah, that's what I liked about it. It's like you get those two different
Yeah,
pastes,
beautiful.
you know?
For me, it's got to be White House down and Olympus has fallen.
Yeah.
But the other way around.
Yes, I love Jared Butler in White House Down. Oh, I love him in that.
And how good was Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx?
In Olympus
Olympus
Has Fallen.
Fallen.
Oh, I love those.
Oh, wow. Alexei, thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for having me.
Always a pleasure. And I can't wait to check out this Finding Yeezus you're talking
it's on
about.
Grouse House right now.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I might like and subscribe right
I would
now.
subscribe to the channel because you never know when more cool stuff is going to come out on there.
We might even
Do?
Oh, you do?
We might even, in Australia, we might even call the series Our Alexei.
Wow.
I don't think you can do that on YouTube.
You've been listening to the Aunty Donna podcast. Thanks for joining us for another RIP episode brought to you by AuntyDonnaClub.com. See you next week.